You've probably heard this advice 100 times. Just go for a walk. And honestly, most men hear that and think, that's it? That's the big health secret? Because walking feels too simple, too easy, like something you do when you're too tired for real exercise. You see younger guys at the gym lifting heavy, running hard, and then someone tells you to take a walk around the block. It can feel like you're being told to settle. But here's what I need you to understand right now, and I mean this from 12 years of medical practice. Walking is not the consolation prize, it is the foundation. And the men who treat it that way, the ones who show up consistently, who walk with intention, their bodies are changing in ways that most people, including some doctors, don't fully appreciate. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what happens inside your body, your brain, your blood, your cells, your joints, when walking becomes a true daily habit, not motivation talk, not a pep talk, just science explained the way I'd explain it to a close friend sitting across from me. By the time this video ends, you'll never look at a simple walk the same way again. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Dr. Nerita, and I've spent the last 12 years helping men understand their bodies so they can make decisions that actually change their lives. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming. And before we dive in, drop a comment and tell me, where are you watching from today? I read every single one. Let's get one thing out of the way first. The reason most people don't take walking seriously is because they've been conditioned to believe that exercise only counts when it's hard. When you're sweating through your shirt, heart pounding, muscles burning, that's the image we've been sold. But here's the truth that the research keeps confirming. Your body doesn't care about suffering. It cares about signals. And walking sends one of the clearest, most powerful signals your body can receive, consistently, safely, and without wearing your joints down to nothing. The problem? Many men already walk to the car, around the house, in the store, and they never feel a difference. And they assume walking just doesn't work for them. It's not that walking doesn't work. It's that casual, distracted movement doesn't register as a meaningful signal to the body. There's a difference. And I'll show you exactly what that difference looks like. Over 12 years of working with patients, men in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, I've watched the same pattern play out again and again. The men who add medications, skip medications, try supplements, try diets, they get some results some of the time. But the men who quietly build consistent movement habits, especially walking, those are the men I see transform, slowly, steadily, profoundly, not because walking is magic, but because the human body was built to move, and when it does, it starts repairing things you didn't even know were broken. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Number 12, your brain literally grows. I want to start here because this one still surprises me, even after all these years. Deep inside your brain is a structure called the hippocampus. Think of it as your brain's memory center. It helps you store information, recall details, and stay sharp. And here's the part nobody talks about. As men age, the hippocampus naturally shrinks. That shrinkage is directly connected to memory lapses, mental fog, and the early stages of cognitive decline. For a long time, doctors believed this was just the way aging worked, unavoidable. Then researchers did something remarkable. They took a group of older adults and had them walk at a moderate pace, about 40 minutes, 3 times a week. 1 year later, they scanned their brains. The hippocampus had grown, not maintained, not stabilized, grown. Walking increases blood flow to the brain and boosts a protein called BDNF. Think of it as fertilizer for your neurons. New brain cells form. Communication between existing cells improves. This is why men who walk regularly often say things like, I just feel clearer. It's not positive thinking. Their brain is actually healthier. If you've ever stepped outside for a walk and come back feeling sharper, that wasn't a coincidence. That was biology doing exactly what it was designed to do. Number 11, your stress system gets recalibrated. Let me ask you something. Do you ever wake up already tense, already braced for the day before it's even started? That's not a character flaw. That's chemistry. When stress builds up over time, a hormone called cortisol stays elevated in your bloodstream. In a genuine emergency, cortisol is useful. It keeps you alert and ready. But when it stays high week after week, it starts doing damage. Poor sleep, stubborn belly weight, weakened immunity, constant low-level tension that never fully releases. Walking interrupts this cycle in a very specific way. The steady, rhythmic motion, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, activates what's called the parasympathetic nervous system. This is your body's rest and repair mode, and that repetitive motion sends a quiet message to your brain. You are safe. You are not in danger. You can stand down. That's why a walk doesn't just distract you from your problems. It chemically changes how your body holds stress. Your shoulders drop. Your breathing deepens. The alarm inside you gets turned down. This effect gets even stronger when you walk outside. Natural light, open space, distance vision, all of it signals safety to the nervous system in ways that sitting indoors simply cannot replicate. Number 10, your creative thinking opens up. Researchers at Stanford decided to test something most people had only suspected. They measured creative thinking in people who were sitting versus people who were walking. The result? Walking increased creative output by roughly 60%. Here's why that matters, and why it's not just about creativity. When you sit still for long periods, especially under mental pressure, blood flow to the brain slows. Thinking becomes narrow and rigid. You can stare at a problem for an hour and get nowhere. Walking reverses this immediately. Each step acts like a pump, pushing blood back up toward the heart and brain. More oxygen arrives, more nutrients, and importantly, the brain shifts into what scientists call the default mode network, the system responsible for insight, imagination, and connecting ideas you didn't know were related. This is why the solution to a problem you've been wrestling with often appears while you're on a walk. Not when you're forcing yourself to think harder, but when your mind finally has room to breathe. Mental space is not wasted space, it's where answers live. Number 9, your blood sugar stabilizes. Every time you eat, sugar enters your bloodstream. Insulin comes in to help move that sugar into your cells, where it becomes energy. Over time, and this is extremely common in men over 50, cells become less responsive to insulin. Sugar stays in the blood longer than it should, energy crashes happen, fat storage increases, and you might not even know it's happening because it doesn't always feel dramatic. It feels like being tired after lunch, craving something sweet in the afternoon, needing coffee to feel functional by 3 o'clock. Walking directly addresses this. When your muscles contract during a walk, they pull glucose out of your bloodstream to use as fuel, and they do this with very little insulin required. The muscle does the work. Research shows that a 10-minute walk after a meal can significantly reduce blood sugar spikes, sometimes more effectively than a single long workout hours later. Think about what that means practically. 3 short walks after meals, that's a metabolic shift without a single hour in the gym. Number 8, your cells start producing real energy. Do you ever sleep 7 or 8 hours and still wake up tired? The issue might not be how much you sleep. It might be what's happening inside your cells. Inside every cell in your body are tiny structures called mitochondria. These are your energy factories. They convert what you eat and breathe into the fuel your body actually runs on. When mitochondria get old, damaged, or inefficient, energy production drops. You feel it as that deep, persistent fatigue that rest doesn't fix. Walking stimulates the creation of new, healthy mitochondria. It also helps clear out the old, damaged ones through a natural cellular process. And unlike intense exercise, which spikes stress hormones, walking improves energy production gently and sustainably. Men who walk regularly don't describe feeling energized in a wired, buzzed way. They describe feeling capable, steady, like a phone that holds its charge all day rather than dying by noon. That's the difference between borrowing energy and actually producing it. Number 7, your digestion improves. This one doesn't get talked about enough. Your digestive system depends on movement, not just in the sense of exercise, but in a very literal, physical way. Your intestines rely on rhythmic muscle contractions to move food through. When you sit for long periods, this process slows down. Things stagnate. Bloating, discomfort, and irregularity follow. Walking gently stimulates those natural digestive movements. It gets things moving the way the body intended. Cultures around the world have been recommending a walk after meals for centuries, long before anyone understood why it worked. As it turns out, they were right. It's not a tradition or a superstition. It's physiology. Number 6, your breathing gets deeper and more efficient. Here's something most people never think about. Breathing is a skill, and like any skill, it responds to training. Walking trains the main muscle of breathing, your diaphragm, along with the muscles that support your rib cage. Over weeks of consistent walking, your body becomes more efficient at taking in oxygen and using it. Breathing becomes deeper, calmer, more controlled. Many men tell me they notice this without expecting it. They climb stairs that used to wind them. They carry groceries without feeling that catch in the chest. They sleep with deeper, steadier breaths. None of that requires a single session of hard cardio. It builds quietly, steadily, from showing up and walking. Number 5, your heart grows stronger without the stress. There's a common belief that you need intense cardio to truly strengthen your heart, that if you're not pushing hard, your heart isn't getting the work it needs. Large population studies comparing walkers and runners found something interesting. When total energy used is similar, walking provides heart benefits that are comparable to running, including lower blood pressure, better cholesterol balance, and improved circulation throughout the body. The key difference? Walking builds cardiovascular strength without the cortisol spike, without the joint stress, and without the recovery time that can knock men out of a routine for days. Consistency always beats intensity. A habit you can maintain for years will do more for your heart than a program you can only sustain for weeks. Number 4, your joints get nourished, not damaged. One of the biggest fears I hear from men who are starting to feel their age in their knees and hips is this: if I walk more, won't I wear them down further? The opposite is true. Cartilage, the cushioning inside your joints, doesn't have its own blood supply. It gets its nutrients through movement. Every time you walk, you're essentially pumping nutrition into your joints and flushing out the waste products that build up when you sit still. Sitting is what starves joints. Movement is what feeds them. Walking upright also begins to correct the postural problems that come from spending too much time in chairs, rounded shoulders, forward head, compressed lower back. As posture improves, pressure on the spine redistributes more evenly. Back pain that felt like an age-related inevitability often softens considerably. Better posture, less stiffness, more freedom of movement. These aren't small things. They shape whether you feel old or capable every single morning. Number 3, your mood and emotional well-being shift at the chemistry level. Walking changes your brain chemistry in measurable, documented ways. Serotonin rises, endorphins release, natural calming compounds that your brain produces on its own increase with regular movement. At the same time, stress hormones come down. Large scientific reviews, studies looking at thousands of men over years, consistently show that regular walking is effective in both preventing and managing anxiety and low mood, not by distracting you from how you feel, but by changing the biological environment in which those feelings arise. This matters enormously for men because we tend to carry a lot silently. We don't always talk about the heaviness that can settle in as life changes, health concerns, retirement, watching things slow down. But that heaviness has a physical component, and walking addresses it at the source. You don't need a therapist's office to work on your emotional health. Sometimes you need your shoes and 30 minutes. Number 2, your independence holds stronger for longer. Of everything I've shared today, this might be the one that matters most to the men I work with. Study after study confirms that men who walk regularly don't just live longer. They maintain the ability to live fully for longer. They get out of chairs without effort. They climb stairs without hesitation. They recover from illness faster. They fall less often. They stay mentally sharp into decades when others begin to fade. Researchers call this health span, the number of years lived in genuine physical and mental condition, not just the number of years alive. Walking supports health span because it keeps multiple systems working together simultaneously. Your brain coordinates movement, your muscles contract, your heart adjusts blood flow, your joints bend and extend, your nervous system stays engaged. As men age, the real threat isn't usually a single catastrophic event. It's gradual disconnection, muscles that stop being asked to work, balance that quietly erodes, confidence that shrinks as the body feels less reliable. Walking interrupts that spiral. It keeps the whole system talking to itself. It preserves the function that independence is built on. Number 1, consistency is the real medicine. Here's what ties everything together. None of the changes I've described today require perfection. They don't require speed. They don't require an hour a day or a fitness tracker or the right shoes. They require consistency. Your body is always adapting to whatever it experiences most often. When walking happens regularly, most days, even short distances, your body begins to treat movement as a signal. This is who we are now. This is what we do. And when the body believes that, everything starts to stack. Muscles stay responsive, blood sugar stays steadier, Stress hormones regulate themselves, joints stay lubricated, and the brain stays engaged. A 15-minute walk 5 days a week will outperform a single intense workout, followed by 6 days of sitting every time. Because the signal that changes the body isn't intensity, it's repetition. So here's what I want you to do. For the next 7 days, just 7, walk with intention. Not a stroll while you're distracted by your phone, a real walk, steady pace, arms moving, eyes up. 15 minutes is enough to start. After meals is ideal. Outside is best, but done is better than perfect. Show your body the signal, then show up again tomorrow and show it the same signal. That's all it takes to start. I want to say something directly to the men watching this who might feel like their best physical years are behind them. I understand why it can feel that way. The body changes, things slow down, and a world that celebrates youth doesn't always make room for what it actually means to age with strength and dignity. But I've watched men in their 60s and 70s add years of quality to their lives through habits exactly like this one. Not dramatic interventions, not extreme measures, just showing up consistently and giving their body a reason to keep adapting. Your body hasn't given up on you, it's waiting for a signal. Walking is that signal. Walking isn't basic, it's fundamental. It's the movement your body was built to understand, the one that speaks to every system at once. Age is not the end of vitality. It never has been. And the men who know that, the ones who keep moving with intention, they're the proof. If this video helped you see walking differently, do me a favor. Hit that like button, share it with a man who needs to hear this, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And don't forget, drop your location in the comments. I want to know where this conversation is reaching. I'm Dr. Nerita. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself. You're worth it.